Hello viewers watching today's video. In the vast sea and sky of eastern Japan, where the white-capped waves roar endlessly, there are people who still silently do an extraordinary job day and night, catching giant squid by hand. With their own strength and experience accumulated over many generations. Without modern supporting machines, without automation, only hundreds of meters long ropes are lowered deep into the dark sea. Where light cannot reach, there, giant squid are hiding, and the brave fishermen of Japan are waiting for the smallest signal from the deep water. They work in the dark, with only the ship's lights illuminating the sea surface. Their calloused hands tightly grasp the fishing line, feeling every vague movement to judge the moment the squid bites the bait. When a squid is hooked, there is no siren, no automatic puller, just the sound of people pulling the line. The sound of feet running on the deck, and drops of sweat mixing with the cold seawater. Each squid brought aboard is not just a trophy, but also the result of perseverance, muscle strength, and endurance to overcome all obstacles of nature. The squid are so big that two people can only carry them. With long tentacles and shiny skin under the lights. Immediately after being pulled up, they are taken to the processing area right on the deck, where a team of workers works tirelessly to clean, slice, package, and chill while the ship is still drifting at sea. And so, every night, from 1 to 200 squid are brought up from the depths of the ocean. No one is sure whether they will catch anything tomorrow, but everyone perseveres, because it is their life, the profession their ancestors left behind, the pride of the children of the Japanese sea. Before the first light of dawn could shine on the sea, the squid fishing boat quietly left the dock, plunging into the vast space ahead. The night sea was calm but contained many unpredictable things. On the deck, each person quietly prepared for a shift lasting many hours, where every minute could be a life or death battle with the wind and waves. With giant sea creatures, and even with their own gradually depleted strength. Each fishing line was untied, the hook checked, fresh bait attached, then lowered into the cold depths without any modern detectors or positioning devices to support it. There, the feeling of the hands was the best sensor. When a squid bit the hook, the fisherman immediately felt a strong and unusual pulling force, causing the line to vibrate violently. They shouted loudly to their teammates, together holding the line tightly, keeping their balance on the wet deck, and then began the suffocating hand-to-hand tug. The bigger the squid, the greater the resistance. Each meter of rope pulled up is a tightening of muscles. A struggle against the pressure. Sometimes it takes up to 15 minutes to pull up a squid weighing 30 to 40 kilograms. During that time, no one is distracted. Just one mistake and the rope can break. Or the squid will struggle and disappear into the darkness of the ocean forever. After being pulled up, the squid is quickly taken to the processing area. The person in charge cuts off the head, cleans the body, separates the organs, and sorts by size. If the squid meets high standards, no torn meat, no crushed meat. It will be kept intact to be sold fresh at major auctions in Tokyo or shipped by air to foreign countries. The remaining squid will be cut into dried squid, frozen squid, or processed right on the ship into dishes such as stir-fried squid, steamed squid with ginger, and served to the crew. Life on the ship is not easy. As night fell, the temperature dropped sharply, the wind cut into the skin. The deck was slippery with blood and squid. But no one was allowed to rest. Each person had a task, from the person who cast the line, the person who pulled the line, the person who rehooked the line, to the person who processed and preserved it. They changed shifts continuously. While working, they took a few minutes to sleep in the narrow compartment, then stepped out to continue the familiar cycle. Despite the hardship, when the last giant squid of the day was packed and taken to the cold storage, everyone smiled with satisfaction. It was not only an income, but also a victory over challenges, over nature, and over their own fatigue. Every year, when the squid season comes, experienced fishermen feel a new breath of fresh air in their blood. The wind changes direction, the seawater warms up, and the squid begin to move in schools closer to shore. That is the golden time that the whole fishing village looks forward to. The whole harbor becomes bustling. People prepare fishing lines, hook bait, check lights and preservation equipment. No one tells anyone, but everyone understands. If they miss this season, they will lose the whole year of waiting. The specialized squid fishing boats are not large, but they are designed very scientifically. In front is the control compartment. In the middle of the boat is the fishing area, and in the back is the area for processing and preserving squid. On the deck, dozens of high-pressure lamps are installed along the railing to attract squid at night. Ice boxes are ready. Each box can hold hundreds of kilograms of fresh squid. The generator works all night to maintain the light and freezer. Everything works like a precise machine. But the heart of the boat is still the people. In old fishing villages, hand fishing for squid is not simply a livelihood, it is a culture. A belief, an identity. Many fishermen believe that squid is a spirit of the ocean, only appearing when the fisherman keeps a pure mind, is not impatient, is not greedy. Therefore, each fishing line that is dropped is like a solemn ritual, requiring absolute calmness and patience. They do not just fish for squid by hand, they talk to the sea through that line. The economic value that giant squid brings is enormous. A fresh grade of squid can be sold for tens of US dollars. especially if sold to high-end sushi and sashimi restaurants at home and abroad. Good fishing boats can earn hundreds of millions of VND in just a 1 to 2 day sea trip. For fishermen, each squid is not just a product, it is a reward for their courage. The result of every drop of sweat dripping onto the deck on a cold night. At major fishing ports such as Hakodate, Hachinohe or Kagoshima, every morning, traders and restaurant chefs line up to wait for the ships to dock. The squid are auctioned on the spot. Buyers will carefully classify each one. Look at the skin color. Check the freshness, firmness of the meat, and especially the state of the tentacles. Squid that are still alive always cost double. Not only has commercial value, giant squid is also a symbol of endurance in Japanese culture. In local festivals, people often build models of giant squid, organize parades, cook together and tell the younger generation about the heroic voyages. About the stormy nights when their ancestors still did not let go of the fishing line. Those stories not only nurture pride, but also preserve the soul of the fishing village, where people always live in harmony with the sea. When the ship turns back after a long night at sea, on the deck are full barrels of squid. In the cold hold are the worthy results of hours of tireless effort. But there is not only squid, there are also exhausted faces. Red and swollen hands, bloodshot eyes from lack of sleep. And sometimes small wounds, silently bleeding under the gloves. However, hidden behind it all is satisfaction. Satisfaction for having overcome a night of challenges. And for knowing that the family back home will have food, money to live, and a future. For many fishermen, the sea is life, but also separation. They stay on the ship for many days, sometimes a whole week to return home. The wives and children at home are used to the feeling of waiting in anxiety. Used to short calls from the middle of the ocean just to report safety. But that is why every time the ship returns to port, it is a day of celebration. Children run along the wharf to welcome their fathers. Wives prepare hot meals, and the whole fishing village is bustling with excitement for a successful fishing trip. There are nights when the ship anchors in the vast ocean without a single city light. The fishermen look up at the sky. Thousands of stars twinkle above. The wind carries the salty taste of salt and water vapor through every crack in the door. In that moment, they feel small in the universe. But at the same time, they feel they are living up to their mission, earning a living with their own hands. With sweat and blood, not by luck or winning the lottery. For many young people, the fishing profession seems too harsh, with no future, but for men with salt in their blood, it is a source of pride. They understand every ocean current, every squid migration season, every wind that signals a distant storm, and every small crack in the fishing line cannot escape experienced eyes. Such knowledge is not found in books, it is distilled from hundreds of times going out to sea. From sleepless nights, from failed pulls that broke the fishing line, and from stories passed down through generations. Not everyone can follow the giant squid fishing profession. One must have strength, endurance, patience and respect for the ocean. No one laughs at or looks down on the ocean, because just 1 second of carelessness, a sudden high wave can sweep everything away. But on the contrary, if one knows how to listen and be in tune with the ocean will not let one down. And then when the ship arrives at the port, the fresh squid are unloaded in the urgency of the morning market. Buyers and sellers call out to each other, weight sheets filled with numbers, and refrigerated wagons ready to transport goods across the country. But the fishermen are in no hurry. They slowly cleaned the ship, untangled the fishing lines, wiped the deck clean, and felt a sense of relief, as if they had just completed a complete symphony in the middle of the ocean.